ocean to the driest desert, there is a natural order. This order is often called the food chain, a simple line showing who eats whom. At the very bottom are the plants, which make their own food from sunlight. Then come the herbivores, the animals that eat the plants. Above them are the carnivores, the animals that eat other animals. At the very peak of this pyramid sits a special kind of creature. This is the apex predator. They are the kings and queens of their domain, the hunters who are not hunted by anything else. They have no natural enemies. An apex predator is defined by its position, not its size. A lion in the African savanna is a clear example. It hunts zebras and wildebeest, but no other animal regularly hunts the lion. Similarly, a great white shark is an apex predator in the ocean. It preys on seals and large fish, but it swims without fear of being another creature's meal. These animals have evolved over millions of years to be perfect killing machines. They possess incredible strength, sharp teeth, and keen senses. Their role is not just to eat, but to maintain balance within their environment by controlling the populations of other species. Think of it like a kingdom. The apex predator is the ruler. Its presence influences the behavior of every other animal below it. For instance, the fear of wolves can change where deer choose to graze. This, in turn, affects which plants grow and thrive in a particular area. The absence of this top-down pressure can cause chaos. The apex predator is not just a participant in the ecosystem, it is a keystone species. This means that the entire structure of its natural world depends on its existence. Without it, the pyramid can crumble from the top down. Humans, however, have changed this ancient game entirely. For most of our history, we were somewhere in the middle of the food chain. We feared the lions and the bears. But with the development of tools, cooperative hunting, and eventually powerful weapons, Homo sapiens climbed the ladder. We climbed so high that we went right over the top. We became a new kind of apex predator, a super predator. We are unique because we can decide to hunt any animal on the planet, including the ones that nature designated as untouchable rulers of their own. The human diet is incredibly diverse. We eat plants, insects, small animals, and large ones, but our appetite has also extended to the very top of the food chain. We have developed a taste for the world's most powerful predators. One famous example is the shark. In many cultures, particularly in Asia, shark fin soup is considered a delicacy. It is a symbol of wealth and prestige, served at important events like weddings and banquets. To obtain the fins, fishermen often engage in a brutal practice. They catch a shark, slice off its fins, and then throw the still-living animal back into the ocean to die slowly. Another apex predator that finds its way onto human plates is the crocodile. In places like Australia, Southeast Asia, and parts of the United States, crocodile meat is sold as an exotic food. It is often described as having a taste similar to chicken, but with a firmer texture. People eat it for the novelty, to try something wild and different. The skin of these powerful reptiles is also highly valued for making luxury goods like bags, belts, and shoes. This creates a dual market for hunting them, one for their meat and another for their hide, placing immense pressure on their populations in the wild. In the cold waters of the Arctic, the polar bear reigns supreme. It is the largest land carnivore and a formidable hunter of seals. For the Inuit and other indigenous peoples of the Arctic, hunting the polar bear has meat and another for their hide, placing immense pressure on their populations in the wild. In the cold waters of the Arctic, the polar bear reigns supreme. It is the largest land carnivore and a formidable hunter of seals. For the Inuit and other indigenous peoples of the Arctic, hunting the polar bear has been a part of their culture for thousands of years. It is a matter of survival and tradition, not luxury. Every part of the animal is used, from its meat for food to its fur for warmth. However, as the wider world takes an interest, new threats like sport hunting and the effects of climate change are adding to the pressures these magnificent predators face. Even large fish that rule their aquatic territories are not safe. The bluefin tuna, for example, is a fast and powerful predator of the open ocean. It can swim at incredible speeds and hunt smaller fish with great efficiency. But its rich, fatty meat is highly prized for sushi and sashimi, especially in Japan. A single bluefin tuna can sell for hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. This immense economic value has driven the species to the brink of collapse. We are hunting these ocean kings with a relentless efficiency that they have never before encountered. Why do humans feel the need to eat the most powerful animals in the world? The reasons are complex and deeply rooted in our psychology and culture. One of the primary drivers is status. For much of human history, successfully hunting a dangerous animal was a sign of great skill, courage, and power. Eating that animal was a way to absorb its strength, to show everyone that you had conquered a mighty beast. In the modern world, this translates into social status. Serving shark fin soup or a plate of lion meat is not about nutrition. It is a display of wealth and influence. It is a way of saying, I am so successful that I can afford to eat the king of the jungle. Tradition also plays a significant role. In many cultures, certain apex predators have been on the menu for centuries. These food customs are passed down through generations and become an important part of a community's identity. For these groups, eating a particular predator is not about showing off to the outside world. It is about connecting with their ancestors and upholding a way of life that has sustained them for a long time. The hunt itself can be a rite of passage, a ceremony that binds the community together and reinforces its relationship with the natural world, as seen with some indigenous polar bear hunts. Beyond status and tradition, there is the simple allure of the exotic. Human beings are curious creatures. We are often drawn to things that are rare, dangerous, and unfamiliar. Eating an apex predator is an adventure. It is an experience that sets you apart from others who stick to beef, chicken, and pork. Restaurants and food markets capitalize on this desire for novelty, marketing alligator sausages or grilled python as a unique culinary thrill. For many consumers, it is a story they can tell their friends, a way to add a little bit of wildness to their otherwise tame, civilized lives. Finally, there is the simple and sometimes mistaken belief in medicinal properties. In some forms of traditional medicine, parts from powerful animals like tigers or bears are thought to contain special healing powers. The logic is simple, almost mythical. If an animal is strong, then consuming parts of it must make you strong too. This belief has led to a vast and illegal trade in animal parts, driving creatures like the tiger to the edge of extinction. People consume these products not for taste or status, but out of a desperate hope for a cure, a belief that the spirit of the predator can heal the human body. When humans hunt and eat apex predators, we do more than just remove a few individual animals. We disrupt the entire ecosystem in ways that can be difficult to predict. This is because of something called a trophic cascade. Imagine the food chain as a waterfall of energy flowing from the top down. When the apex predator at the top is removed, the effects cascade down through all the other levels. The throne of the king is left empty, and the kingdom falls into chaos. Without a ruler to keep order, the entire structure begins to unravel. A classic example of this can be seen with wolves. In places where wolves were hunted to extinction, the populations of deer and elk exploded. Without their main predator, these herbivores were free to eat as much as they wanted. They grazed on young trees and plants so heavily that entire forests began to suffer. The riverbeds, stripped of their vegetation, started to erode. This affected the fish in the rivers. It also affected the beavers, who no longer had enough trees to build their dams. The removal of just one species, the wolf, had a domino effect that changed the very landscape. The same thing happens in the oceans. When we overfish sharks for their fins and meat, the populations of their prey, such as smaller sharks and rays, can increase dramatically. These animals then eat more scallops and other shellfish. In some areas, this has led to the complete collapse of scallop fisheries that had been productive for over a century. The local fishermen who were not hunting sharks lost their livelihoods because someone else, far away, had developed a taste for shark fins. The connections in nature are intricate and often invisible until they are broken. Ultimately, our food choices are not just personal decisions. They are ecological statements. What we choose to put on our plates has real and lasting consequences for the planet. Eating an animal from the top of the food chain is a powerful act. It demonstrates humanity's unique position as a global super predator. But it also comes with a profound responsibility. The kings of the wild have ruled for millions of years, maintaining the delicate balance of their worlds. By choosing to eat them, we are choosing to disrupt that balance. We must ask ourselves if a moment of status, tradition, or culinary curiosity is worth the price of an empty throne and a broken ecosystem.